Hi ladies, today I want to talk to you about building natural energy. My focus for all of my content for the month of November is on energy and motivation. I think when we hear the word energy, what we immediately think of is we have to change our diet and we have to exercise more. And that is certainly true, but I want to give you a totally different perspective about how I see energy. Energy for me is about feeling alive. You know, it's about really waking up in the morning and feeling alive, not just physically, but loving your life and actually feeling that in your bones, not just telling yourself, trying to think positively. It's about feeling that you are completely operating on a different vibration. You have increased your vibration, and that is something that you give off to the world. You know, I think when we watch motivational videos and, you know, we're looking for motivational content, we kind of think of motivated people as people that are successful. I've really noticed this when I'm looking for content, is that we see the word motivated and we associate it with someone who's successful in all, you know, areas of life. Motivation is about raising your vibration. Energy is about raising your vibration on every possible level. And this does not take as long as we think. So let's look at why we would want to even do this. Now, if you think about every single little thing that you want in your life, and whether that's better relationships, whether that's being a better mother, whether that's more fun and adventure, whether that is a body that you love, whether it is waking up happy and refreshed, whether it's being motivated to chase those goals that you never get around to, whether it's having the energy that you need to go after your dreams, whether it's having more creativity. It's impossible to be creative with your life if you don't actually feel energized. Creativity comes from having an abundance, a source of energy where your mind is focused on what is the next amazing thing I can create for myself, whether that's myself, the way that I parent, in my business, whatever it is. Feeling like you're in the flow of life. If we are energized, what we give off just tends to start to get better and better. We tend to kind of get into this flow of life. And giving off, like I said, giving off good vibes. You know, when someone is energized and motivated, you want to be around them. And that's because we sense more from an energy perspective from others than we do from a mental perspective. So when you meet someone and you either have a good feeling or a not great feeling, what you're doing is your little energy bubble is picking up on their little energy bubble. So let's talk about why that is. There are, scientists believe, approximately 37.2 trillion cells in your body. These little cells are tiny microscopic energy bubbles. But the way I see it is you have 37.2 trillion reasons or abilities to be able to increase your energy. Now, those cells transform all the time. They hold our cellular memories. So they hold what's happened to us. They hold the stress that we've had. They hold the toxicity of whatever we've been putting in our mouth. But they die and they're reborn constantly, which means you have a never-ending opportunity to influence those cells. And those cells are energetic. Believe me, I've seen hundreds of clients' cells under a microscope, and they are energetic. And I have literally watched them transform before my eyes just by making small changes in each corner or area of somebody's life. Not huge changes. Big things don't need to change. Small changes of fueling your whole system with what it needs to feel alive. So if we want to help those cells come alive, regardless of what has been, regardless of how much stress you've had, regardless of the past you've had, you have the opportunity now to shift and change from an energy perspective. It doesn't even matter what your DNA is. those cells impact every bodily system, every hormone, every neurotransmitter, which means your moods, everything is impacted from a cellular health level. So for me, energy is about how do I raise up your cellular health so that you can function at the highest possible level without it being hard, without there being a million things to do. Physically, rather than thinking diet and movement, I have to change my diet, I'm going to have to eat really well, I'm going to have to move, I like to focus on the benefit, which is why you're going to do it. Otherwise, we can come up with a million reasons about, and I mean a million, about what we have to do to change our diet. I'm going to have to shop, I'm going to have to do this, I'm going to have to do that. Your mind needs an end goal, and then it will do it. So with me, rather than thinking about diet and move it, think about how your body will feel if it's alive. Think about how every cell will literally dance when we are fueling it with living foods. And by living foods and drinks, the things that I add in are beautiful and really fun. There's so many things we can even change up in your environment physically to be able to support cellular health and build energy. Breathing fresh oxygen, inviting in more life force into your body, being able to open and expand the body with that life force, that breath. So just by changing the way that we breathe, just by sending that breath into pockets of the body where there hasn't been breath, can totally transform the way that your cells behave. It transforms the way that you feel mentally and emotionally, and your body becomes oxygenated, full of oxygen, which means your cells can then do their job. They can actually move to every single bodily system and transport the nutrients that you're taking in properly. So living foods, breath, and sending that breath into the different parts of the body, which is what I do with my yoga classes, my breathing exercises, and my relaxation exercises. Okay, mentally. What we do physically affects mentally. The way that we breathe, the way that we talk to ourselves when we're on a yoga mat, the way that we eat, the way that we feel in our body, it all affects this. So we first start with the physical to be able to fuel the mental. Small changes there will completely change your mental state as is. But I like to take it a little bit further, and I like to look at what it is that drains you mentally and emotionally. How we can remove that from your life, and if it can't be removed, how can we shift your perception of how you see yourself as well as how you see what's happening around you? So how do we give your mind the fresh perspective that it needs? And then with any stress that you have, the way that you work your thoughts and your stories, the way that you look ahead and worry, the way that you go back and tinker with what's already happened. What tools do we need to be able to do that process differently? Because every time you go out into the future and worry about something that hasn't happened, it causes stress and it drains you of your energy. So mentally, I want to focus on clarity, right here, right now, presence. How do I get the rest that I need? How do I get short moments of peace that I need so that mentally I'm looking at the present with clarity, and I can focus on the next amazing thing I can do, the next amazing thing, the next amazing thing, and just drill down to living presently. So mentally, there's quite a few tools that we can use that are really simple to start shifting up your perceptions. We also want to look at what no longer serves you. So what am I doing that no longer serves me? What can I do to do less of that? What can I do more of to get the inspiration, the fresh perspectives, and anything that I can do more of that's actually going to lift me up? Okay, so what is actually going to lift me up? Clarity, rest, softness, kindness to myself, self-talk, the way we talk to ourselves. These are all things that when you say something beautiful to yourself, even if it doesn't feel real in the beginning, it lifts you up. And the reason we feel lifted or uplifted is because your cells like to be spoken to kindly. And mentally, it releases the different hormones that we need, as opposed to the negative hormones. It releases the positive hormones into the body, which makes us feel lighter. So energizing is also about uplifting, having this sense of being lighter and living on the upscaled end of the emotional scale, on the top of that scale. Gratitude, kindness, generosity, love, and this includes towards yourself. So you might be able to do this for others, but we need to be able to do it for ourselves. So emotionally and mentally, I want to focus on what we can remove, shifting up perspectives, and then bringing in what I know makes us feel lighter, what uplifts us emotionally. Once you have a calm, clear mind, then we have this pinpointed focus. And this is what motivation is really about. It's about being able to have this focus of looking forward at what I really want and being able to go after it. You're going to have the physical energy, and you're going to have the mental clarity, and you're going to have the self-kindness and softness to support you as you move forward. By now already, you're starting to exuberate a totally different vibe to other people. People will start to notice. They will ask you, what are you doing? What have you been up to? You look really different. Have you had Botox? I've had people say that to me before. Have you had Botox? It's like, no, I'm just really happy. So, calm, clear mind, visualizing. What does the motivated, energized, uplifted person that you want to become, what does she look like? What is she doing? What does she love? What is she doing more of? What is she doing less of? Starting to see how this person acts and behaves. And instead of going through all the reasons why I can't be energized, I see that person and I take action daily on starting to behave like her. In the beginning, it's unnatural, and then it just becomes a new habit. So we start to really look at, what do I need to do to become that person? How can I take action? That's motivation. Motivation is, I'm going to focus on what I really want. I'm going to focus on the benefit of how that feels if I become that person, rather than these are all the things I have to do to get there. How is it going to feel when I'm that person? Right, I'm going to behave like her now. I'm going to start behaving like her right now, today, every day, over a month, and then see what changes. Because you can, in the beginning, shapeshift and become that person, and it might feel unnatural, but over the course of a month, it becomes you. Okay? It starts to become you. Once you have this person that you are starting to become, she becomes more motivated to keep building on that, because she feels completely different. Not she's read about it or heard about it, she feels completely different. And then you're motivated to be able to go, I'm going to build on this. I'm going to create more energy. I'm going to continue to uplift myself. I'm going to continue to motivate myself to do small things, the next great thing, the next great thing, the next great thing. And they all start to add up to something entirely different, a different version of what you're living now. And it takes a month. It takes small changes every week in each little area, and that's it. It really is that simple. If not now, when? Okay, so when I look at people's cells, most of the time they're running on about 30 to 60% capacity of their cellular energy. And we can do that for years. We can be running half-cast for years. Or, what am I capable of? What am I really capable of? And what if I just took the next month to really focus on bringing my energy levels up? Rather than, I have to change everything to even be able to exercise, it's going to mean this, and getting there, and I'm going to need this much time. And what if I could just change little things? So rather than I have to change everything, what about thinking of this as, I'm going to go on a beautiful journey. I'm going to give the gift of energy to myself. I'm going to give back to myself. And at the end of that journey, I'm going to have enough to give more back to the world, to the people that I love. I'm going to have more connection. focus on the benefit and focus on the gains. I'm going to be able to operate on a different frequency. I'm going to be excited instead of bored. I'm going to be motivated instead of tired. I'm going to be energized instead of drained. I'm going to be running at 90% to 100% or 80% and above or 70% and above. Anything is better than running at 30 to 40 to 50% of what you are capable of. How are you going to do this? Okay, if you are a part of my list, so you're in my Facebook group, my Facebook community, even just my Facebook and Instagram pages, I'm going to be releasing little blogs over the next month to focus on everything that we've covered. And there are enough free tools in my free membership on my site for you to be able to grab what you need physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Otherwise, the Energy Project starts on November 1. So this is our first real month in Life School. We've been beta testing Life School for about 6 months now to get everything bang on in terms of what we want to offer. Living foods meal plan and drinks and a lot of environmental tips. That's what's going to be in Life School Premium. Breathing, visualization, and a really heartfelt yoga class to be able to combine the visualization, the breath work, the meditation into movement, where you're really starting to build this connection with the energetic part of yourself, with your body, your mind, your spirit, starting to really use the meditation that you've learned, the breathing that you've learned, and bringing it all into that class. My masterclass and the community challenge is going to walk you through everything that you need to do physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in terms of raising your vibration to a completely different level. I also provide you with my inspirational content library, so what I look for in terms of all of the information that I'm trying to pull in as I'm learning as well, going on the same journey of always trying to lift myself up. I'll have a beautiful guest speaker who will share her journey about motivation and inspiration, and of course there's a Facebook community where I do the live Q&As and we all group together, sharing our stories, sharing our journey, and encouraging each other, but most importantly keeping each other accountable, so you know you have that group there going on the same journey at the same time. Life School is $19 a month, so $19 for more excitement, motivation, and more energy, I think is a pretty good deal. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in there. If not, look forward to seeing you, in my Facebook community. So ladies, I will see you inside my Facebook community or inside Life School for November, and I hope you have a great day.